Honorable members of parliament, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished representatives of the Norwegian people, it's an honor to be among you once again. I would like to first, on behalf of the Iranian people, express my deepest gratitude to you for your support of the Iranian resistance for democracy and freedom. I would like to thank you, especially on behalf of the Mujahideen of Camp Ashraf, for your efforts in support of their rights. The declaration of the majority of the Norwegian parliament underlining protection and prohibition of the forcible displacement of Ashraf residents indicates your dedication to human values. This is a declaration for human rights, for peace, for security in the world. You are friends of the Iranian people in hardship, and you will never be forgotten. The last time that I was here, I spoke to you of my dream for a free and democratic Iran. I spoke to you of my dream, an Iran in which there will be no sign of torture, executions, or stoning, where people will not be restricted in free assembly and free expression of their beliefs, where women will have full and equal rights, including participation in political leadership, where there will be no discrimination against followers of various religions and ethnic minorities, where the resources of a non-nuclear Iran would be used for a better life for the people and not obtaining nuclear weapons. An Iran that will encourage peace and friendship and not fundamentalism and violence. There are the principles of our platform and the image of the Iran that we struggle for a free and democratic Iran. Dear friends, today I'm here to say to you that we are not far from realizing such hopes. Millions of Iranians have come to the streets since last June and declared their demand for the clerical regime's downfall. The regime has not stopped at any crime in suppressing the people. Many of you may have seen on television the last moments in the life of Neda, the young woman who was shot by a revolutionary guard. She was one of the many who have given their lives for freedom in Iran. Thousands of people have been arrested, many tortured, raped, and sentenced to death in the last 6 months during the protests in Iran. But the regime has not been able to stop the uprising. 1 month after the start of the uprising in Iran, during last July, Iraqi forces attacked Iran's organized opposition in Camp Ashraf at the behest of the mullah's regime. Ashraf, as the symbol of resistance, is home to 3,400 members of the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran. The Norwegian people are proud of their resistance to Nazi occupation. The success of the Norwegian resistance could be seen in the determination of its fighters in snowy forests and the hope that they generated in the hearts of their people so they could continue their resistance to the occupiers. I believe you understand well the reason for which the mullahs want to destroy Ashraf and pressure the Iraqi government. The people of Ashraf are women and men who have dedicated their lives to the prosperity of the Iranian people. Indeed, as Masoud Rajavi, the leader of the Iranian resistance, has said, the attack on Ashraf at the behest of the mullahs regime during the Iranian people's nationwide uprising clearly showed that Ashraf is the source of hope and inspiration for the Iranian people. Many of them were imprisoned and tortured by the mullahs regime. Khamenei hoped to destroy Ashraf and spread despair among Iranian people. But the perseverance of Ashraf's residents and the extensive international solidarity with them defeated the regime's plots. The UN Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, formally declared in his report to the Security Council last month that UNAMI, with support from the United Nations High Commissioner on Human Rights, has undertaken the monitoring responsibility in Ashraf. This is an important step forward, but the battle continues. The mullahs regime tries to pressure the Iraqi government to destroy Camp Ashraf before the upcoming Iraqi elections in January. Ali Larijani, the Speaker of the regime's parliament, repeated demands in a recent official trip to Iraq for the extradition and deportation of Ashraf residents. Camp Ashraf is currently under siege. On 25 November, residents of Ashraf were informed that the entry of medicine and doctors to the camp are banned. It is more than 1 month that no fuel has been allowed into the camp. And severe restrictions have been imposed for the entry of food. At the same time, the Iraqi government has given the residents of Ashraf a deadline of 15th of December to leave Ashraf. The forcible displacement of Ashraf residents is a gross violation of international humanitarian law and international human rights law. The displacement of Ashraf residents to an isolated region or one that is under the influence of the mullahs regime is a prelude to their massacre. I call on you, the distinguished members of parliament, to raise your voices against any forcible displacement of Ashraf residents that has their massacre as its goal. Last week, a Spanish court declared its jurisdiction to investigate the crimes committed against Camp Ashraf. The investigation will be on violation of Geneva Conventions. This is a major development and recognition of the status of Ashraf residents by an independent judicial system. Dr. Garces, the leader lawyer in this case, who present here, will certainly explain more, but I think this decision is a formidable backing for effective international measures to protect the rights of Ashraf residents. Norway can play a historical role in this issue due to its international credibility. I appeal to you to request the Norwegian government to initiate a firm position by the United Nations against any forcible displacement or use of violence against the residents of Camp Ashraf. UN should oblige the Iraqi government to respect the recognized rights of Ashraf residents under international humanitarian law and international human rights law. This would be the necessary step for Iraq to join the community of democratic countries.